Hi, I'm Jen. Welcome to my channel. This reading is going to be for Pisces. So let's see what's going on with you right now, Pisces. Coming around. I think that's door to value. Yeah, it is. Oh, no. Door to romance. Okay, door to romance. 33. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So that's your sacral. She looks like she's kind of daydreaming. I'm not gonna lie. Like, just the far off. She has a far off look in her eye. Okay, tell me more. What's going on here? Tell me about your daughter romance. Okay, so the key you've got your heart right here. There's a key hanging right to the lock of where I think your heart is being held. It's in like a little closet. It's kind of in plain view. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, oh, another key. What the heck, dude? So you got different doors to open here. Look at that. The key here. Is that it? Oh, it's on this side. There's the key for the cage of your heart. And then here's like recovery. Ooh, recovering your heart. Okay, you've got a positive outlook on life. You're kind of like, okay, I got options. You used to be here where you're just like, you had nothing to look at. Like, you're just like, the trees are dead. It's winter. I feel cold. I feel sad. I feel alone. And now, look how warm and fuzzy you look. This is so weird because I just took this card and it looks like if you move it underneath, it's kind of the same with that head tilt, but this one's all tied up. I love these. These are like moths, but they're like, they're glowing. They're actually really cool. I don't know that there's real moths like that, but they look really cool. Iridescent, I think is what they call it. Okay. Let's find out what's going on with you and this recovery, this key to recovery. Observing. Tell me about this observing. Changing your focus. So the first card is observing, and that's like pointed directly at us. So that to me looks like the present. And then the other one is change your focus and look towards the future. So I feel like maybe something that you thought would be happening in the moment is not happening right now. And so like it's something that you can maybe see in the future, but you're not focusing on right now. Okay, so tell me more about this. Now, that male relative, really stubborn. Tarot. Tarot reader, watching tarot readings, studying tarot, getting a reading. We're on a male relative. Tell me more about that. Christmas. There's a lot going on at Christmas. Lonely. What the heck? I shuffled these cards. Why is that coming? That's the same as, is it Capricorn? What the heck is going on here? Tell me more about this. Cutting ties fell out. That is like the almost same reading. What is going on here? I don't think this is a male relative anymore. I want to know about this. Tell me who this is. I don't use tarot very often, but we're going to use tarot for this. Who's this male relative? Four of Wands, homecoming, friends, wedding, celebrations, family, community. Ooh, that scared me. What is going on out there? Don't get the dogs riled up. You don't want to mess with these two. It's okay. Wrong turn. Wrong turn. Tell me more about this male relative. That doesn't make sense. What is this? It's family. It's community. Male relative. Maybe you know someone who's dark skinned and has a goatee. Reversed. Breakup, separation, disinterest, tension, imbalance, arguments. 2 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I don't think that's a relative. What the heck is going on with this? Tell me more. Page of Cups, a studious kid, a new love, dreamer, volunteer work, happy surprise, sensitivity. This is this is observing. This is up here. The 4 of Wands in the Page's Cup is going up here towards that new key to a new door. But it looks like a new door, like a new chapter. And behind that new chapter is your heart. So like a new chapter in love is happening for you. But down here, this is like a... Okay, it doesn't have to be a male relative. This is reminding me of like, so like, if you don't recognize your trauma bonding, you're gonna, and you had a certain childhood, you're gonna be finding partners that replicate your father. Like if I look back at a lot of the men in my life, they actually are like templates of my father for the most part, until, and they just show up differently. And there's different sides that he showed us at home, but there's different sides he showed us out in public. And so it was confusing at the time, because when I first met my kid's dad, he was very aggressive and like, you know, he didn't care what other people thought. Like we just had to tolerate him, right? That was the man's role. Like you just got to put up with whoever he is. But when I met the covert narcissist, who was a coworker at work, he showed up very charming and friendly. And that's what I was drawn to, because I'd been around temper tantrum men around my life, right? So I wasn't looking for someone to walk on eggshells around. I wanted someone who seemed warm and cuddly and comforting. And that's the illusion this covert narcissist gave in the beginning. And that's what drew me in, because I just hadn't had a kind face in a long time. So whenever, you know, it's not hard to, you know, when someone shows up finally friendly, and you're just like, oh, okay, this is kind of a nice change from what I'm used to, because I'm just used to dealing with assholes all the time and just people who are not kind and comforting. So like that's that. But what that was that comforting side of that covert narcissist was the side that my dad would show his customers at work, or like people at, you know, at the church, or people that knew him outside of the family home. You know, people that couldn't really show, it couldn't prove that like the other side of him, like it was a role. And so that's who this this male relative is really just the people of your past that you were drawn to before. So you've closed the chapter. They're down here, and like you've bumped up, and this is this is why you're looking like this, because you're like, you're daydreaming about somebody. Wow. And like up in her bonnet, usually like that's like a lot of like overthinking and stuff, which could be happening too. But you're just trying to sit there and look pretty, but you're like not really like acknowledging all the different like questions you have for this person and like for this situation. So you're just kind of sitting there like wondering. I feel like this observe is like, you're like, okay, just stay calm, stay in the present. Like, because in the past with these covert narcissists, they really played a number in your mind. And so they pretended to be somebody, and then, but you get glimpses underneath the mask, or you get glimpses in the text message, and you're like, and then you start come to reality, and you're like, that doesn't make sense. Like your actions aren't matching your words. And if you cared about me, why don't you want to spend more time with me and my kids? Like you're just not showing up as a father should. And like, you know, the idea is like when you connect families, like I would treat his kids like they're my own. And I would do that with other people's families, because like that's what I want for my kids. But I wasn't getting the same in return. And so there are differences where he'd claim he was doing it. I'm like, no, I don't think that's like, I'm just measuring like the effort that we put into each other's families, and I'm just not feeling like that's the same. And so there are things I started noticing, and I finally got to the point where like, okay, this guy's never gonna grow up. He's just never gonna grow up. He's just so selfish, like all the time. And I just had to recognize that. And like, you know, this was in 2021. And it's just like, wow. And I've met a couple people after that where I'm just like, okay, still the same, but I don't have to invest in them. I can recognize them. I would learn to recognize them without having to actually like get into a relationship. I could recognize it through conversations, through tough questions, and I got better at doing that. So I didn't actually have to like invest in myself or touch the person, which was good. So now you're kind of like, okay, I feel like you're all up in your head. This is like, if you could get an x-ray vision of like what was going on up in your bonnet, like this is it. There's like all different versions of you, kind of like, okay, stay calm, no, stay grounded, like, no, I don't think they really think that of you. There's no evidence, but oh, but there is that evidence. I remember this happened. So like if that happened, like why would it doesn't mean that it's just all about this. Like, you know, like you're up in your head about this, like trying to decide, and like, but at the same time you're like, okay, well, I know that if this is not happening for me right now in this moment, then like this person hasn't done anything to like do anything against me. It's just maybe wrong place, wrong time, right person, could be, right? But you've learned from the past, like, I'm not going to slow down, I'm not going to stop, I'm going to keep moving forward, and if this person catches up with me, cool. If not, then that's also cool. There's no hard feelings here. There's just like an interest in someone new, and I feel like, oh, and when I get in this mode, I'm just like, you know what? If it's not that person, I'll use their face, and that's like, I like the idea of that someone, but like it's almost like a, I know it sounds odd, but like when you have bad habits, you can't let go of them all the time. So like even when you feel alone, it's nice to think that there's someone out there for you. And so like even if this person couldn't show up as you needed them to, like it's always someone nice to have on your mind when you do get lonely. It's not like you're just obsessing about them. That's not what this is. It's just like, you know what, when you have your downtime, you're like, there's someone that you think of, and you're just like wondering what they're doing. And because it didn't end badly, it just didn't come together. So you're just kind of like, I wonder about that person. That's what I feel like this is. Because she's all tied up here too. So like, that's what I mean by the timing thing. Maybe at the time, like you were tied up in the way that like you had your hands tied where you could, like, you look super cute there and you're given eyes, but like you just don't have the means right now to have a relationship because your hands are busy elsewhere in the way that you're trying to build something for yourself. Maybe you've built something for yourself and now you're at the point where now you're ready to let love in. Because this is balanced. This is like earth, air, water, fire. Like you've balanced yourself out. And you've proven that because you're like, you're not all, well, you're all up in your head, but you're still able to focus on other things. Where normally when a situation like this would happen, you'd be like obsessing about it. Now it's like you've allotted like a time in your day to think about it. And like once that time is over, you're like, okay, back to work. I got to do this. Okay, so on the bottom is Knight of Wands, a lusty and free-spirited person, passion, creativity, action, adventure, and fearlessness. Okay. What do you need to know? Like what? Maybe you need to find out more about this. Tell me more. Astrology. Interest in astrology. Astrologist. Reading zodiac. Astrology. Tell me more about that. Adventure. And we got another adventure card. Vacation, adventures, person, ziplining. Ziplining is fun, except if you don't put the harness on, it kind of hurts. Outdoors. Make sure it's fit properly. Okay, something's happening in your dreams. Nightmares, lucid dreaming, astral projecting, dreaming a person of interest, messages in dreams, prophetic dreams, etc. And then Thanksgiving. And planning. What's going on here? Pisces. You got a lot going on up here. You got adventure, you got astrology, you got dreaming, you got food. You got a little bit of everything. This is you. I feel like you're a dreamer, and then you've got like your belief systems here. I feel like with that astrology, it's like kind of like, you know, you got a reason for why you think the way you do. You got this adventure, like you're not afraid. Like some people are like, I'm never doing that. Wait till you find out how much that thing hurts if you don't put it on properly. But anyways, Like you've done things. You could pull off like making this big ass meal for somebody. I feel like you got skills. You got skills to pay the bills. The dreams here, like you dream big, but you also know how to rest. You look for signs in your environment. Like it's not like you're just like making moves for the sake of making moves. Like there's a reason behind your movements. There's something, and that I think that's why you think this situation seems odd, because you're just like, but if it was like the past people down here, like it showed up a little bit differently, and that's why it's on your radar. I don't know. I don't like doing love readings. I don't like telling anyone to like go after something that is not showing up for me. I'm like, they need to meet you in the middle and show up. And so that's why like I'm saying, I feel like I have to add like a disclaimer, because I don't enjoy telling people to do those things. And then like, you know, in the end it doesn't work. So like for me, I like to say like, you know, if there's something that you feel good about, like as long as you keep moving, I don't see the problem with that. Because to me, this door to romance is almost like a door to value. Like it's kind of, it feels very similar to like you have an idea like how to make money, and like you have a path for that you've either probably already done or you're going to. And so like I feel like this is how you came to the conclusion with this door to romance. It's like it's like you balance it all out, like in all the different areas. Like, am I just being too like woo woo up in the sky, or am I making something out of nothing? Am I reading too much into something? But you're like, no, you're kind of checking it. It's like you're checking over it, like, no, that doesn't make sense. This isn't like that other person. That like there's something that feels off here. But not in a bad way. Like normally it felt off like in that way. I don't know. Court, jury duty, legal matters, etc. There's 3 pillars here. Okay, tell me more. What deck? Let's use this one. Tell me more about this. You got me curious. I don't like doing love readings, so this is kind of, I'm sorry. This is a 9 Soria card. It says, I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry you feel badly. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. I'm sorry I broke your trust. I'm sorry for being dismissive. I'm sorry for how I made you feel. I'm sorry that you felt left out. I'm sorry for keeping you in the dark. I'm sorry it was gone for so long. I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier. I'm sorry you didn't feel you were enough. I'm sorry to have made a mess of it. I'm sorry I didn't say I love you. I'm sorry I wasn't a better friend. I'm sorry I couldn't take away your pain. I'm sorry for betraying your trust. I'm sorry, and I want to make it up. It's a lot of sorries. Yeah, pay attention to the details. So like you probably already know like what to look for in apologies, because you're a well-rounded individual. So I don't think I need to go into that. I think you already know. If you need to know, let me know, and I'll put it in the comments, and I'll make another video about how I decide if someone's like truly remorseful or not when they come back, because I kind of put them through something, and it's not like an angry something. It's just I have questions. I think that's normal. I would have questions. With this kind of an apology, it makes sense to have questions, because you got to protect yourself, right? And you don't just want to give any key to your heart to anybody, because you've done that before and you know what that feels like. Okay, this is cool. Navigate carefully. That's fine. You know what? If someone's coming back and apologizing, you're not going to just jump right, whoever they are, you're not going to jump right into that, and you're going to navigate carefully, and they're going to understand why. They're not going to rush back into things. They're going to want to take it slow. Like you wouldn't race up this mountain. There could be goats, and like you're just not going to race that up, because you could wipe out. Like the idea is like you go slowly, you know, and you take that curve slowly. So the right person is going to understand what that looks like. Special occasion. Let me guess, Christmas? It is. Oh, we do have the Christmas card here still. We do have Christmas lights here. It's just because all the readings are saying like something is happening around Christmas. I mean, it is Jesus's birthday, so that is pretty special. But like something other than that, something bigger than that, something, whoa, is happening around Christmas. Okay, I need to get a Christmas tree. I don't know how I'm gonna figure that out. I don't have this is gonna be the first year I don't have a Christmas tree. Okay, so Well, I don't know where to go from here. I'm a little bit lost for words. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it happens right in the middle, and that is kind of an odd moment. A little bit embarrassing, but that's all right. Okay, so what do I want to, oh, let's go Flower Oracle. Yeah. Okay, let's get some advice moving forward. What do you need to know moving forward? How others feel about you is none of your business. How others feel about you is none of your business. Okay. I'm kind of hungry. Celebrate your body. Okay. Living authentically is vital to a happy life. This makes me feel like maybe something's going to make you care about what other people think. Ooh, okay. So like, I know from my experience, I'm not in, because I'm like trying to, the key to recovery is like recovering like your life from before all this, you know, shit happened and like blew up in your face kind of thing, right? So like before I used to be like really worked out, and like I'm just trying to still like manage my nutrients, and so I don't feel confident right now in my body because it's just I know it could be better, and I'm not even exercising, and it doesn't feel solid to me. And so like for me, I wouldn't want to be, you know, that close with someone until I feel more confident in myself. But that's also something that I associate from like my experiences with past partners. So you see, when you bring in something new and healthier, I in my mind, I can imagine like that's going to be different because the people of my past really cared about what other people thought and how things looked and how I looked, and like picked me because of how I looked instead of like my insides, like how big my heart was, and like how, and they used that against me. So it's like I can imagine like when you've done the work and you've balanced yourself out and you know what to look for now, you're gonna, I can imagine like you're gonna draw in someone else where they're like, you know what, no, I think you look amazing, and that might be a challenge at first because like for me it's like I want to feel like I look amazing, like thanks for saying that, but like if I don't believe it, it's kind of different, right? So I think that might be a challenge just to work through. Celebrate your body. I think it's challenging, just with everything that goes on in the world, like with social media and the women and the bodies that are put out there, and it's just like easy access to it. It can be challenging because you're just like it. I know for myself, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, like when those perfect bodies that are like, I understand they're airbrushed, but they're not all just airbrushed. They're like younger bodies and more younger, you know, and so like that can be challenging to feel like compared to that. And I know that in the past I've had men that like had no problem like looking at women when they're standing beside me, and they just kind of expect me to deal with it, and like, but you're window shopping. It feels like you're window shopping when you're right beside me. And then like being cheated on, that really messed with my mind and my self-esteem. So I think when you add all these things together, that can be like you've worked so hard in other areas, and like this will just be a new challenge. And if it's the right person, they're going to help you through it in a way that they're not going to try to use things against you. They're not going to use your insecurities against you like the people of the past did. Like I've had men in the past like try to make me jealous using other women. And so like I can't do that. I wouldn't tolerate people who try to make me jealous because I already am my biggest critic of myself. So like someone trying to make me feel less than by using another woman is like, I got enough criticism up in my head. I don't need a man to like try to make that worse and it's like using your weaknesses against you. Like we're supposed to be partners and not fighting each other. Like I don't want you to feel bad about your body if it's not perfect. And you got to think like eventually we're going to get older, and as we get older and we can't, you know, like what's going to happen then? And ew, and those gross old men that look at women, they're like I would not want to be married to a man that's that old creepy dude checking out these young girls. Like it's just gross. So like there's something here that I feel like if you're bringing in something new, trust that it's something like, no, well, don't trust, like you're gonna do the work, you're gonna navigate slowly, but if this is the right person, then they're not going to be doing things that are going to try to make you feel insecure. and just look for that, and if that's not them, then that's not them. Like there's got to be, the idea, how I equate this to is like the work that I've done within myself, I'm hoping to find that in somebody else. So like I'll recognize it when I see it, and I'll be able to see like they do what I do. Hey, I do that, when I'm in that environment or in that situation, that's kind of how I react too. And it's when you don't see that happening, and when they make excuses for it, and they just want to do what they want to do no matter what. That's the problem, right? So just see, like, it's all about communicating, right? And maybe you haven't had, that's another challenge, is like communicating is like, okay, so like maybe it's going to feel a little embarrassing, like bringing up these insecurities because we're grown, but at the same time, like we all have different experiences that we've been through. And so before, when you used to communicate with people in the past, they would use these wounds against you, and there wasn't really much communication. And like, look at the communication that you received in the past. It was just kind of like dismissive and like, oh, you're beautiful. Like, well, okay, but like, I'm more than just beautiful. I have a lot going on inside too, right? Like, and make sure that person is recognizing that in that stuff that you got going on the inside. Right? That's why you want someone to appreciate not just the outside. And like I had to learn, people who just like give you attention because they want attention or because they like the view. But then there's people who are going to want to invest in you because they recognize that you're more than just a pretty picture. Like you've got a lot more. That is just like a bonus. And they actually enjoy you as a person and spending time with you and all that you have to offer. And that's what they're excited about. And like, it's like when you meet someone, like, their face, like what attracts me to someone is like when I get to know them, and then like it's almost like I don't know how to say this, like they just become more, the more, well, I don't know if I've experienced this quite yet, but like like it can go the opposite way. Like when I meet someone and then they start speaking and I'm like, wow, I thought you were attractive until you said something, or their actions, or like, you just see men treating women in a certain way. You're just like, that's so cringe. And like they could have the tightest six pack or muscles or whatever you deem like to be, attractive. And it's like, it doesn't matter how many muscles are on that body, because it's just not about that. Like when you get to the point, you're just like, muscles don't mean morals. And honestly, I think they're kind of overrated. Like for me, I'm looking for a person who can, lift stuff and work and not pull a muscle. Like, I mean, I pull a muscle every time. Like I put shelves up in the basement and I think I really fucked up my neck. I think that's why I'm so dizzy, because I've got a pinched nerve. But like I shouldn't be hanging those shelves, right? Like I don't want to be doing that. But anyway, so like I just want someone who can use their body to work and to build and just have access to their body, I guess. Like it's not about the sculpting so much. I don't really give a shit about that. It's kind of like time wasted. Like if you need that sculpting, like that's hours in the gym. I'd rather be spending time with my person and enjoying their body as is, as opposed to like having them work out in a gym all the time. Like I want to go play soccer. Let's go play soccer. Let's go play tennis. Let's go play catch. Let's go do that shit. Like that's not going to give you a six pack, but like at least it's way more fun and enjoyable than like bench pressing or whatever you do at the gym. I've never been to a gym yet, and I honestly just don't. I've had bad experiences from a guy I knew who just tried to use the gym as a place to make me jealous, and gross. It's just gross, and it's just yeah, so I think, so the way that somebody can make themselves less attractive by like the lack of, warmth in their inside is the way that someone can build their attraction. For me, it's like attraction for me is like boundaries with other people. Someone who's got my back because I got theirs. That's attractive. That builds attraction. Someone who knows how to pick up around the house after themselves. That's attractive. And it shouldn't really be considered attractive, but it's just like, I think it is, because like not all men are slobs and not all women are neat, right? So like it's not just although it could be like a large number of men that just don't do it. But like for me, I just want to make sure like I'm just getting a human being in a body who sees me as a human being and not some sort of weird trophy person that they can use and abuse and put back on the shelf when they're done with. Like I want a human experience where it's like, you know what, like we can have conversations when we disagree, and we can understand like if that's a touchy point for them, then that's probably something I'm going to be aware of, because there's going to be my touchy points that I need them to be aware of. And it's just consideration. It's common sense. And it's so lacking these days. I don't understand what is going on with this situation where it's just people can't be connecting. Like they just lead with their egos all the time. So yeah, live in the present. I'm going to leave it on that. Live in the present. Yeah, don't get too far ahead. Don't go too far in the back. And I think that's going to be helpful for your situation here. I'm excited for you, Pisces. This looks good. So I'm going to end it here. And I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you like, be sure to push the like and subscribe and the bell button. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care.